What up, guys? And yeah, tonight we're going to be trying something a little different. I found this at the store. I thought, let's give it a whirl. You know, normally I just do beer and stuff like that, but I'll switch it up a little bit. But I was walking to the store and I found this Johnnie Walker White Walker, and it was actually on clearance. They had it for cheaper than Red Label, so I figured, why not give it a whirl? It does have a fantastic, you know, it's a wrap. It's over a glass bottle, but it looks great. You never even know it was a wrap if it wasn't for the bottom part. And it's actually, they recommend you putting it in the freezer. It's one of those, almost like a Coors bottle gimmick, where you put it in the freezer and the mountains turn blue because it's cold. That's what this thing is. If you can see it, but the Johnnie Walker walking dude, he kind of glows blue silver, and then on the bottle it says winter is here. That part isn't there until you put it in the fridge, I think, or in the freezer. But I figured, let's give it a whirl, let's give it a taste test, and I'm gonna be just straight up. I am a little worried about a whiskey that recommends you putting it in the freezer. Usually a whiskey's not gonna tell you to freeze it. Now, granted, that might just be because of the bottle, but I just feel like you're not going to tell someone to put a high-end whiskey into the freezer, even because of the label. But anyways, let's give it a whirl. Yeah, it's great. I dig the label. Even if it's not a great blended Scotch whiskey, I'm okay with it. Because, I got it for $20. I got clearance for $20. I think Red Label was I'm trying to think, 25 or something like that. Okay. So I don't think this is any of them. There is a special little blurb about it. It basically says that the whiskeys that they took to make this blend come from the northern part of Scotland. You know, and the White Walkers do come from the north, but I'm going to pour this. This is nice and chilled, cold to the point where you can't even really hold it, but it pours out. It pours kind of thick. Maybe it's because, I'm sure because it was in the freezer for so long, but okay, now I can't get it to twist shut. But I don't know if you guys, there's a lot of Game of Thrones, I don't think this is even, well, that's weird. There's actually no threading in this bottle cap. I don't know how I'm supposed to close this now. You bastards. Well, that's annoying. Guess who's not going back in the freezer now? I don't know. This thing's kind of... Oh, shit. It was on clearance. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Don't know. Oh, there's a ton of Game of Thrones, like, booze-related things. And this was like one of the... Oh, no, I take that. I was going to say this is one of the first. I take that back. There was a Unibroue beer that I had maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Unibroue is one of my favorite breweries out of Canada, and they had, it's basically, you just kind of slap a label on one of your other products, but that's going to bug me now. Okay, anyways, whatever. Let's get into the review. I'm going to do the same standard review, but for this Scotch, let's get into the smell. It is very bright, very floral. It smells kind of sweet. Yeah, and it smells like it might burn a little bit. You definitely get a bunch of the alcohol. Well, a bit of like citrus, maybe like a little lemony. Maybe some hint of pine. You got a little bit of the wood, that I don't know. This doesn't really say that it's been aged Normally a Johnnie Walker will tell you how long it's been aged for. This one does not, which means I'm guessing this hasn't really been aged because they're going to tell you how long they've aged it. So I'm going to guess it's probably not. But I feel like it's got that kind of brand new wood like aroma to it, where it's still kind of working itself in. It smells like a young new wood. If that makes any sense. It's not aged. It doesn't have like that weathered, well worn like fantastic wood aroma. It's just brighter, but. I mean, I like a whiskey or a scotch. If I'm going out and I'm just going to be drinking something harder instead of beer, a lot of time, and I don't feel like trying, getting fancy with cocktails because a lot of places just suck at making a legitimate cocktail. I will just kind of go straight scotch, neat. So that's usually what I go for. It's not the greatest aroma. It's not terrible. I'm gonna give it a half. It's not bad, but nothing's like, oh, this is gonna be smooth. It does not smell like it's gonna be overly smooth. Again, it told me on the label to put it in the freezer. But all right, let's get into the taste. You have a bit of the lighter notes, a bit of that like lemon rind, some honey maybe. It's not overly complex. You don't have a lot of different like notes going on. You don't have the wood and charcoal and smoke and whatever. It's very kind of high, high end, like citrusy, sweeter. It doesn't have the deeper tones of like the earth. It doesn't have the earthy tones really that you might want in a scotch. This is I'm sure it would change as it warms. There's not much burn to it, which for $20, I mean, granted, I think if you look at this online, it's going to cost like, I looked it up before I did this, it's $30-$35, which $30-$35, that's what like a black label goes for. For just simply price, go black label. There's no question for taste. This is cool just because of the bottle. You're buying it for the bottle. But this is it's floral, like lighter, sweeter. I feel like they made this knowing a lot of the people that are going to buy this might not necessarily be the avid whiskey scotch drinkers. It's more of the Game of Thrones fans that see it like, oh, okay, let's, sure, let's buy it. And I think they're trying to cater more towards that that crowd that doesn't really do a lot of scotch, a lot of whiskey. It's smoother to me than say a Jack Daniels. For me, a Jack Daniels or a Jim Beam burn a little more. This doesn't have that kind of burn. I don't know if this is necessarily I'm just gonna pour this and sip on it for a while. This could be a pretty solid cocktail mixing whiskey or scotch. Like if you're gonna make a whiskey cocktail, I think this could be pretty decent for that because you're not using a super high-end product, but it's not going to overpower anything. I think, yeah, if you're making a Manhattan and you don't really want too much, charcoal smoke flavor, something like this could work. But I mean, it's not great, but it's not like in terms of Johnnie Walker. I think I'd probably I haven't had Red Label in a while. I think this definitely is under Black Label. Red Label, I'm gonna say, I bet even Red Label probably tastes better because Red Label at least is aged. This, again, I'm pretty sure it's just throwing stuff together, package it. It's, you know, it's our lower quality stuff, but we got a kick-ass label sticker on it and a cap that won't freaking close. Let's do it. So I'm gonna give it a half. I mean, as long as if you're going to buy it for the label. Don't buy it for the taste, if that makes any sense. It's a cool label. Johnnie Walker actually does some really kind of sweet labeling. There is a Blade Runner black label that I kind of want to get, but it's like $100. $100 for a black label is kind of crazy. You get some legit scotch for that price. But and then they have a lot of kind of super fancy blue label, like city-based things. But I don't know. I give them props for that. Johnnie Walker is really kind of that brand that you kind of, if you're moving into the world of scotch, that's kind of, at least for me, that was really the introductory. You know, you get the red label and it's like, oh, what black label's like? It's only like $5 more, and it's like, ooh, this is much better. And that was, I think black label was the first one I started to really drink that I wasn't like mixing anything with. Eventually, it was like, okay, I don't need to wait. Not mixing Coke with anything, we'll just ice. And then eventually when I got to black label, it's like, I don't need anything, we'll just take it neat. But anyways, yeah, so for taste, give it a half. Value for price. Depends, I got it for $20. This for $20, sure thing. I'd recommend it for that. But I just kind of got lucky. If you buy it full price, $30, $35, I think that's about okay. You're not, I mean, yeah, that's about, yeah. I mean, there's other $30, $35 ones. Again, black label, about the same price. I'd get black label for taste. But you're buying it solely because of the label. I think maybe the winner is, I don't know. Yeah, you're buying it completely for the label. Yeah, I don't know. I bet if you wait around, it'll probably be on clearance around where you're at too, pretty soon. But yeah, I don't know. But value for price, I'm not going to recommend it for value for price. It's just you're buying it for this plastic like top on a glass bottle. That's the only reason you're buying it. It gets really slippery when it's cold. But yeah, there's other products that you can get for the same price that are going to taste better. The other Johnnie Walker products for the same price that's going to taste better. But if you like Game of Thrones and you like the label and you're into collecting bottles, cool. I've kind of, after post-college, I was never really into, I'm going to save this bottle. This one, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'll put it somewhere and then in 6 months I'm like, well, what the hell am I doing? I don't need an empty bottle, but we'll see. So yeah, I don't know, maybe buy one and hold it somewhere and sell it on eBay in 10 years for $1,000. But yeah, so I'm not gonna recommend it for value for price. Distinction, there's not a lot of, if you're a Scotch or whiskey fan, it doesn't have the kind of characteristics that you're looking for. This is just something that really people that aren't super into whiskey and Scotch they might be fine with. But if you're a whiskey or Scotch connoisseur, it's not going to be for you. So, but the distinction, not really. I don't really recommend it for that. Okay, now drinkability. I mean, this is, the warmer it gets, the more I'm like, I don't really like this as a sipping thing. Maybe over ice. If you keep it cold, maybe. Again, I think this would be fine as basically a well whiskey, as something you're mixing with drinks. It wouldn't be a bad mixer. Again, it's not harsh on like it doesn't burn. So again, yeah, if you're gonna use it, keep in mind. I mean, just use it for someone to mix it with. So. But for drinkability on its own, nah, I'm not really feeling it. So, on that. Alright, last category is would I buy it again? And probably not. I mean, for taste, not really. If I find it, if it goes on even more clearance, if I'm at the store and it's like, or for $15, I might buy a bottle and just sit on it, and then who knows, maybe it gets valuable at some point in time. I mean, for $15. I mean, you could do worse, and then if it doesn't, then I'll just drink it, and for $15, then you do a whole lot worse. But yeah, so for right now, I will not be buying it again. But that is my review of the White Walker by Johnnie Walker Blended Scotch Whiskey Limited Edition Game of Thrones blah 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 thing. Basically, you're buying this because of the plastic wrap. That's all. That's the only reason you're buying this. But I'll admit, it is a kick-ass looking plastic wrap. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cap. I don't know. I'm going to hope that is. Mine just happened to fall apart. That's all I can go off of, because otherwise I have no idea. Oh, all right, take all that back. I'm an idiot. You can't close it. Forget all that. Okay, so you can close it. It's a good looking bottle. So basically, yeah, buy it for the bottle, don't buy it for taste. But if you find for clearance, go for it. But yeah. Anyways, have you guys had this one before? If you had, what do you think? And if you have just a go-to Scotch or whiskey, let me know. Maybe I'll get around to it. Try to do some more reviews of different things. But anyways, that is the review. So for myself and for White Walker by Johnnie Walker Blended Scotch Whiskey Limited Edition Game of Thrones bottle, take it easy.